Whew. Once again, it's on. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You know who it is. Ricky T. Anthony coming at you with another Ricky's Rants. And I'd like to give a shout out to Species Nutrition. I've been using it in my diet and training, my weight loss, and I must say that's some of the best products I've ever used in my life. Species Nutrition. They have a nice protein isolized. They have a great fiber supplement, fiberlize. Great vitamin supplement, V-mineralize. Isolize is their whey isolate protein. Very good, very smooth, very tasty. They also have a pre-workout, post-workout. Testalize to optimize your natural testosterone. Oh, lipolyze. The name lipo says it all. Daytime fat burner, and somalize, a nighttime fat burner. Helps you sleep good too. A lot of great products. There's a lot more out there, but that's the ones I know right off the top. That's the ones I've been using. So shout out to Species Nutrition. And as they say in the commercials, what species are you? Okay. The state of modern bodybuilding. That's what I want to talk about. Is it dying? Does it need to change? How much does it need to change? Why isn't it further along than it should be? After all, the X Games came out after, and that's all over TV now, making big product endorsements and stuff. And the guys and girls in the X Games are beginning to get paid quite handsomely. They even have video gaming that jumped ahead of us. So what's the problem, bodybuilding? As I see it, if you don't learn from your past, you're doomed to make the same mistakes. Take a T from women's bodybuilding. Look at what happened. It came on in the 80s. Lynn Cartwright, Rachel McClish, Carla Dunlap, Corey Everson, and the list goes on and on and on. And then it was making money. It was doing good, and it took a turn, nosedive, right around the time Linda Murray and Kim Chisvesky were battling out in the 90s. And the look became harder, bigger, more and more muscular. You had the women becoming, more and more muscular. And the sponsorship dollars dropped off. To try to save the sport, they then created the Miss Fitness, the Miss Physique, the Miss Shape, and all these other Miss Bikinis and whatever they have now, like a half a dozen of them. And guess what? They canceled, I think it was the Miss Olympia, which is supposed to be the queen of the female bodybuilding fitness world. Just like the Mr. Olympia Open is the king of the male. Now, if you look at what happened to men's bodybuilding, okay, the physiques got better and better, gnarlier and gnarlier, as they used to say, and more impressive. And then, if you listen to the verbiage, because I've been around a while, excuse me, in the 80s and in the 90s, early 90s, you would hear a lot of people say, I'm going to be leaner, more conditioned, leaner, better condition, 5 pounds more muscle, better condition, harder, leaner, in better shape. And those were the words that were thrown around. Once Dorian brought the size game on, guys were like 5 pounds heavier, bigger, heavier, bigger, heavier, bigger. And the verbiage of the in shape and all that other stuff just slowly fell out of favor. And then you had what they like to call roid guts, but steroids don't cause those stomach, because Arnold and Sergio Oliva never had those. So the roid guts came in, and it was size at all costs. So the guys got humongous, and so did their guts. And then it started falling out of favor. So then they came up with the 212 class, and then they changed it to the 215, then they dropped it to the 200. They're trying to find, then they moved it to 202 or something like that. So they were trying to find something that would be more appealing to guys that didn't want to be so grotesquely big. And I think a lot of those guys don't look good. There are a handful that look very good, but a lot of them don't. They're just huge with no real, definition to their physique. And then what they do, they created the men's physique, which I thought was a cop-out, because you want to gain sponsorship and keep money, and a lot of mainstream didn't like the look of the men's open, so, you go ahead and throw in this men's physique. No disrespect to the men's physique, but that's just the way I feel about it. Now they come up with classic bodybuilding, aka classic physique. It's classic bodybuilding, not classic physique, because Arnold was a classic bodybuilder, not a classic physique athlete. Frank Zane was a classic bodybuilder. All the way up to Sean Ray, Lee Labrada, those guys, they were classic bodybuilders, not classic physique, okay? So I will stick to calling it classic bodybuilding. But anyway, so now they come up with classic bodybuilding, and I see guys like Darren Charles and other guys trimming down in weight, just like they did to make the 212 or 210, whatever weight class they had, where they keep moving the numbers around. Guys really trimmed down, like Dexter Henry and all those guys, to meet that class. He trimmed down. A lot of guys did. Now a lot of guys are trimming down to make the classic bodybuilding class. So, and I think the nail in the coffin, or the shot heard around the world, I should say, was when Arnold talked about the bottle shape, not a Coke bottle, but like a jar, the jar shape, and the guts being too big. And he really called bodybuilding out, which I think was a great thing to do. I take my hats off to Arnold for that. And now the guys are trying to rein their stomachs in, and I think that's a good thing. And I think, like he said, they should be deducted points for having big guts. Like, let's say, I'll just throw the name out there. Let's say Kai Green or even Phil Heath or whoever comes in dialed in the best condition you've ever seen them in their life, but their gut is huge and distended. I think the guy who's in second place should be put, if he has a flat gut, a nice tight stomach, should be placed ahead of him. That's just me. Bring some class back to bodybuilding. Bring some of the art back to bodybuilding. Have an artistic physique, and award guys and reward guys for artistic physiques, and not guys that look like barrels. No disrespect to Branch Warren. He can come in great, hard, grainy, dry, skin looking like sandpaper, but his physique doesn't have a flow, and he has a distended gut. So if I was judging, he would probably never make the top 3 or top 5 for that matter. That's just me. Anyway, that's my rant. Clean up the sport, learn from the past, tighten these guys' guts up, give more attention to classic bodybuilding and to the 212 class, and I guarantee you bodybuilding will stick around for a long time. Another thing is getting bodybuilding into the mainstream, but I'm already at 8 minutes. I'll do that as a follow-up to this. Ricky T. Anthony, getting my 3 a.m. workout cardio flex on with my flat stomach on your funky ass. And I'm out.